and welcome everyone to episode number 17 of The Outrage. Yes, we're finally back. It has been damn near too long
Way
for
too
us to
long.
be back, but thank goodness finally got Al out of his, ridiculous schedule to be able to get us back in the lab and bring you the episode 17 of The Outrage. So I think we
Hmm.
do have to start with Alain Spencer Byers. Alain,
Yeah.
what's been happening in your
What's
life?
going
Only been a
on?
month and a half since we last spoke to you. I think last time we spoke to you, you'd just gotten your job at City News.
Yeah. That's still what's going on. And I mean, I knew that the hours would be there. I just didn't think they would be there that quickly. So I've been super busy there. Anchoring sports for Toronto, Calgary, Vancouver. Anchoring news at night. I had a shift last night. That was a blast. Um, it's crazy, man. Once it's insane how like once you're out of school, life just comes at you fast again. And I forgot on how quickly it comes at you. But hey, that's part of the experience, I guess you can say. But yeah, that's what's going on there. I'm not sure if I mentioned this on the last episode. Recently just got hired by MLSE, and I will be shoveling snow during commercial breaks for the
Yeah,
Toronto Maple Leafs.
yeah,
Which,
you're a snow angel.
yeah, yeah. Tell my mom she doesn't. My name and Angel usually don't go well together. You know what I mean? But yeah, so be doing that this winter as well. Obviously, I'll still be reffing hockey. Actually, on that front too, I didn't tell you this before we started recording. I don't know why it slipped my mind, but I will be officially moving up to junior hockey this year. It
You're an
is
OHL referee.
no. I wish I was an OHL referee. That'd be cool. No, OHA. Getting
Oh,
there,
okay.
getting there. Yeah, so still the top of the alphabet, but we'll get there.
Inching closer. You're trying to tell me inching
In,
closer?
Inching closer. Yeah, the dream is not dead. If it wasn't happening this year, I would have been a little concerned, but um, yeah. So I just filled out all the paperwork the other day, so I will be reffing junior hockey this season. This is super cool. It's been a long time coming. Considering I've been eligible like in terms of qualifications to ref junior hockey since I was 17. So this is almost 6 years ago. I think 5, 6 years ago. I don't know. I hate math. We know that. We always what does this? That always comes up every episode, doesn't it?
You try to count and then you stop and then you finish counting and you go, I hate math.
Yeah. It's like a reoccurring segment. It's like Al can't math.
Oh yeah. Can Al add?
Yeah.
And the
No.
answer normally is no.
Yeah. No. I can multiply. From my like 0 to 12 in terms of like my multiplications, but like
Your
or my
times tables.
my times tables. Yes. Sorry. That was the French part of me that was coming out there. But anyways. Yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on. I'm trying to like match my schedules all together, and I also make time for a girl that recently came into my life. So that's always
Rather
fun.
recently, I haven't even heard about her.
Yeah, no, it's
Al,
it's
you're a whole new person.
I know it's
Up
crazy.
referee, now work for the MLSE, got the City News job that I knew about, new girl. Guys, like you're a whole new person. Like I gotta start a
I
whole new podcast. Like, what are we
yeah.
doing right here? I'm getting worried. I'm getting worried.
Nah, you're good. I'll still make time for you, Spencer. Especially in like, we're still trying this virtual thing out, because of certain restrictions now. Can't record in studio, since it is not a branded podcast. We'll get there one day. One day we'll sell it to them. I just got to stop swearing. I think that's what we got to do, Spencer. I just got to
Oh,
stop
you
swearing.
gotta stop swearing. Oh, okay. Well, as long as we got to that point.
Yeah, I think that's that's what's holding us back, to be honest. I mean, not really. We're at episode 17, and we've been doing this podcast for literally almost a full calendar year now.
Yeah,
It's actually
almost.
insane.
It
But
is.
this whole point of this podcast is for sports, not to talk about my personal life. So before we get into sports, though, Spencer, is there like what's going on with you, man? Because like we said earlier, it's been too damn long. It's been a hot minute.
It has been a hot minute. So my internship with TSN has now officially ended. I was not brought back with the radio sector, which I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting to with, after week one, all the cuts that Bell Media made. So that is where that ended. I did get to go to BMO Field though and be a part of the radio Argos team, which was cool. Um, but now I just am a quote unquote freelancer, but I'm the unemployed part of freelancer where I still will do York University volleyball. I'll still do Sheridan College volleyball. I will still fill my schedule with as many things as I can to make some money, and we'll see where that gets me, basically, at this particular point in time.
And this is the
So,
cool part too. Like the TFC thing sounds pretty sick, but like the thing is too, like with Spencer's freelancing job, Spencer actually got to see me ref. We actually
I
worked.
did.
We worked a similar event. Well, not similar. It was the same freaking thing. It was a hockey tournament, or
It
I don't even
was.
know what you should. It's a hockey tournament, I guess. And it just so happened that I wasn't available because I was asked to ref the tournament, and Spencer, sure enough, took the job on the media side of things. And then I was like, oh, like, are you doing this hockey thing or whatever? And he's like, oh yeah, like yeah, I am. And then next thing I'm like, oh sweet. I was like, I'll be on the ice.
So
Yeah.
Alan and I got to hang out during the festivities between games, which was nice. So I
Yeah.
technically
Well,
have seen you since we
yeah.
last did our podcast, but
Yes.
it seems like so much has been added since I last spoke to you, even. 'Cause
Yeah.
I knew about the MLSE thing. I knew about obviously the City News thing. The new girl thing is very new. You and I got to talk about that at the
That
end of the
was
podcast.
that was last weekend kind of news. So like, what are we today? August 31st.
August
Yeah.
31st.
Yeah. So this was August 26th.
Oh, so we're talking like 1 week old new.
Legit. Yeah. Yeah.
Hot off the press. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's exciting things, man. Exciting things. But anyways, um, did I
Now
cut off any other thoughts, or is this pretty much like now we're ready to dive into the nitty gritty things?
I mean, unless you got something else to add to us that'll, knock us off our feet, I think we're about ready.
No, I think I'm ready to talk about. I'm ready to talk about some sports. I haven't covered sports in quite a few weeks actually. I've been anchoring a lot on the news side more than the sports side recently. So like I'm honestly like this will be nice to bring me back into it, which is perfect because I actually have a sports shift tomorrow. So
Of course,
it'll work out. It'll work out.
Well, Al, I think there's no better place to start. Sheldon Keefe
Yes,
signed
thank
to
goodness.
a multi-year extension with the Toronto Maple Leafs, so he is officially back with the team. I
Yep.
also want to mention before we really get into Sheldon Keefe, last time we spoke, we still hadn't had any closure on Auston Matthews or William Nylander. Auston Matthews was signed. William Nylander is not.
And
William
I'm
Nylander
not
is still
surprised.
looking for. Yeah, William Nylander is still looking for a new deal. Auston Matthews, I'm trying to find the terms. Here it is. Got a new 4-year, $53 million contract, a AAV of $13.25 million, putting him as easily the highest paid hockey player on planet Earth. So, and again, as I mentioned, William Nylander is still looking to sign long-term with Toronto. So I guess we'll see if Nylander does get signed for the next couple of days, as Matthews did just merely a week ago or so ago.
I doubt
You
it.
doubt it?
I
Well,
doubt it.
We'll start with Keefe. We'll work our way down. So Sheldon
right.
Keefe most recently signs multi-year contract
Yep.
extension. Al, you sounded excited about it. Are you excited that Sheldon Keefe will be allegedly looking like staying as the Leafs head coach long term?
I'm excited in terms of like it's finally nice to talk about hockey. And there's actually something that's like worth talking about now, like instead of all the speculations and the rumors. And I'm also excited, or not excited, but rather like low-key happy because now it kind of tells you like what direction the Toronto Maple Leafs are heading into. And this is one of those where I've been saying this before. I think the players need to be held accountable a lot more. I think they've been soft. They've been babied a little bit for a little too long. And, I know you got to keep your star players happy, but that doesn't mean holding their hand and, making their lunches to go to school every day. You know what I'm saying? So in this case, for me, it's one of those where it's like maybe if some players aren't, all about the Sheldon Keefe thing, which I'd be surprised if they weren't because they've had enough time to build a rapport with him that, they kind of know what they can get away with and what they can do with him. So if you're unhappy with Sheldon Keefe, that'd be a little weird. But my whole point is at this point is that, listen, if you guys don't play, I'm not letting you use the fact that this is because the head coach isn't good. Because you look at Sheldon Keefe's record, he's got like, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but he doesn't lose often. Like, he has a lot of regular season wins. Not so much playoff success. Just recently, though, getting out of the first round, which was a huge weight lifted off of everybody's shoulders. Like, Sheldon Keefe's not a bad coach when you look at his numbers. And you know what? If you don't believe me, like, whoever's listening to this could pull this up. Like, I dare you to look up his numbers. His win-loss record is not awful.
Well, Al, who you're doing a podcast with, I already pulled up the numbers. In 267 games in the NHL, which again is split between half a season after Babcock in 1920.
Yes.
56 games in the COVID-shortened 21-22, or 2021, pardon me. And then the last two seasons have been full 82-game schedules. He has 166 wins, 71 losses, and 30 OT/shootout losses. So
yeah,
he's got a lot more wins than losses in the regular season. Playoffs, as you mentioned, he's got 30 playoff games. He's 13-17 in the playoffs.
That's a little, it's a little more.
Yeah,
a little more. But we knew that. Anyways, so my point is, you don't have a bad coach behind the bench, and I think it's smart for Brad Treliving to, sign him for 2 years. I think that's enough time to get to know him, and you in that span, you'll also be able to find out really fast whether or not it is, what the issue is in terms of, is it the players or is it the coach? I am not sold that it's the coach because they play for him in the regular season. I think I've been a believer of this for a while now. There's a few players on that roster that do not give a crap. They say they do, but I don't think they do. And I also don't think that they have that level of compete that, winners have. Like, which is sad because some guys, though, have been in those situations, not the Stanley Cup, but in championship situations in other respective leagues. For instance, Mitch Marner with the London Knights, he's won a Memorial Cup. He's won, an OHL title, and he's won, MVP, the Wayne Gretzky Trophy. So he knows what it takes to win a championship. It's just, it frustrates me that we don't see that extra gear kick in the playoffs. Like, William Nylander is the reason why he frustrates me, is because he shows up in the playoffs, but is really nowhere to be found in the regular season. Now, you can look up his numbers too, and you could be like, well, what do you mean? Like, yeah, he got almost like an 80-point season. Great. It's just, for him, it comes in too many waves that sometimes it's hard to tell that he's doing so well, which is why I think he flies under the radar. And then in the playoffs, though, it's just always bang, bang, like it's there. But that's the only thing I will say I like William Nylander for, is that he's there in the playoffs. But I wish his play would rub off on the guys a bit more. But I like this 2-year extension because I think it allows Treliving to, again, evaluate what he has. But I think it also sends a message like, this is no lame duck coach for better terms. This is up to you guys to play for him. I trust his system enough to sign him. You don't play to the standard that we have, you are gone. And I think that's why I'm glad Kyle Dubas is gone, because I don't think he'd be able to do what Brad's doing right now. Now, we've seen Brad do this in another franchise, and it has not paid off. The Calgary Flames. But I do think that, he might have needed just a change of scenery, and he might do some good here. But at this point, I know it's a cliche, but only time will tell. But I like this signing. It's short, sweet. And I think, again, at the end of the day, it sends a message to the players. This is your coach. You don't like it, you're going to pack your bags. Simple as that.
Well, I don't think anyone's going to be packing their bags anytime soon, especially Auston Matthews, who, again, got a massive extension for only 4 years. And Al, I think that, again, leads into a question about Auston Matthews of, are you worried about Auston Matthews not getting a long-term extension? Yeah, 4 years is long-term, but it's a bridge in hockey layman's terms. It's half as long as he could have gotten from the Leafs.
Yeah, I'm not. See, this is hard because, like, I'm not worried about if he can keep signing 4-year deals. I don't care. Like, go ahead. He's good till what, 2027 now? No. Yes, because this year is his last year of his original contract, and his 4-year kicks in next year. So he would be 2020, 27-28 season, I believe. Something like that. Anyways, I'm not worried about the short-term deal. If the money's there and he's getting paid, he's happy, great. Keep doing that short-term deal. I don't care. Like, I want Matthews to be the face of the franchise. Matthews, I want him to be like the next Matt Sundin in terms of, you played here all along, okay, your career's run down, but now it's time to move on. Okay, go play somewhere else if you want, or retire, whatever. Like, just have it's about time the Toronto had someone that was a full-time Leaf. Don't get me wrong, Morgan Riley's been here too for his entire career, but I'm not sure. I mean, don't get me wrong, they just signed him last year to a 6-year deal? Something like that. So, I mean, he's probably going to end his career here, but it's not the same. Morgan Riley will not be a Matt Sundin when he leaves. Morgan Riley will just be Morgan Riley. Whereas Matthews, when he leaves, or depending on when that would be, you could compare him to Matt Sundin, other than the fact that Sundin was traded over from the Nordiques to the Leafs. But, he didn't quite come over the same way as Matthews did. But I'm not really worried about that. I'm more worried of, okay, now we know. I think if the Leafs do not either make a Stanley Cup final or win the damn thing in the next 4 years, or 5 years, I guess, because you count this year, I think then he walks. If you're just a second round exit, first round exit, it keeps going the way the trend's been for the last 7 seasons now, then I think the concern is, okay, once his contract's up, he is not staying, because Auston Matthews every player in the NHL wants to win a Stanley Cup. And I think Matthews wants to do it here, but I also think if he's smart, which he will be, because I think at the end of this deal, he should be 30 by then, which is still pretty good in terms of, prime. He might be 31-ish. He could still be effective. So that's why I think, like, this is the ticking time bomb, I guess you can say, for Matthews, is, okay, now you got 5 years to win a cup, or at least make a final or win a conference, signs that you can win a damn, get a banner up in your freaking rafters. You know what I mean?
For the first time in over 50 years.
Yeah.
Had to mention that part.
Exactly. No, well, it's you're not wrong. It's there. If you look up the numbers, it's been that long. So that's the thing for me, is whatever the number of years would have been, that's how long, that's the win. You hear the term the window, right? The window to win. The Leafs had that window. It was a thing when, after like the main core was like developed. It was like, okay, you got this amount of time to get it done. I don't believe that window is closed. I just think it's a different window now. Like, at first it was a window like with this group and, like, you bring in veterans and that kind of thing. Now it's like, okay, well, now your core is like, they are your veterans. Like, these are the guys. Like, this is your time. Like, this is your window. And Matthews just said that crystal clear with that signing. You got me for this long. If we don't do anything, relevant, if we don't have a banner of some sort up in our rafters by the time my contract's up, I am gone. I'm going to go win a cup with someone else, and I don't care who it is. So that's my thoughts there on that signing.
Well, Al, are you worried about the number? Because, again, 13.25 for over 4 years. It really does feel like Matthews maximized the amount of money he could get.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, he's still in his 20s, and he's already going to have made what? Like, I think the number was like $111 million in total earnings, like, since joining the NHL. I mean, the cap's going up. Like, everything's going up right now in the economy anyways. So, like, why shouldn't the deal? Now, do I think that, this is setting the tone for a huge McDavid deal when his contract's up in the next couple of years? Yeah. But that's normal. And I mean, if Matthews got, 13.2?
13.25.
13.25. Oh my God. McDavid's going to get like 15 or like maybe even 15 and a half. I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe even flirts with 16.
See, I don't know if he'll go that high.
I don't know. It depends on where.
He could get it. I just don't know if he will.
It depends. Like, I know, like, he's a new market guy, and, like, let's be real here. Like, I know you're loyal to your Edmonton fan base, but, like, this is the thing right now. I do think McDavid's gonna explore the market. I don't know how deep he'll go into it. I don't think he'll go that far. I think he might have a few things in mind, like on where he might want to go. I think he does want to stay in Canada. Do I see him going to Montreal? No. Ottawa? Maybe. Toronto would be the destination, right? Because he's a new market guy. But I'm not, and I'm just trying to say that, like, depending on what the Oilers do, because, like, the Oilers only made one conference finals, and that was in 2016, I believe.
Who, sorry?
No, it wasn't even a conference final. They lost to the Ducks in round 2. Yeah, so they don't really know where. They don't really. Oh no, they made the conference final, didn't they? Yeah, they played Vegas.
Yeah, I was trying to think. If you're talking about Edmonton, they made a conference finals like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, didn't they just play Vegas too in the conference finals?
I want to say they did, but
it's so weird. It's so weird. This is what I hate too. Like, time's flying by so fast. Like, you just lose track of what the hell is going on.
That's just because you're in news. Your head's stuck in the news.
No, it's not even that, man. Like, I'm serious. Like, I don't remember much about the playoffs last year other than the fact that the Leafs were a second round exit, and I was there to see it.
That's because you stopped. That's because you stopped watching. The moment the Leafs go, you're like, who cares?
Yeah, I was watching Vegas a little bit, but.
Oh yeah.
Because Edmonton played LA in the first round. Then they played. No, maybe they were a second round exit.
Don't worry your little head out. I am rushing to get you your answer.
That's fine. I'm just talking so, like, we could fill. It's not dead air here.
Well, I know you're just trying to talk yourself through the magic.
I mean, if I could figure it out too, that'd be great. It means, like, at least I have, like, a bit of
conference semifinals. So no, they were not in the conference finals. They were in the conference finals 2 years ago.
Nuts nugget. There's a new word for you.
It was 2022. 2022 they were conference finals.
Okay.
And they went to the Stanley Cup back in 2006. That's between them.
I remember that.
Longest runs.
I remember that. They lost to the Carolina Hurricanes.
They did.
Yeah, I was devastated at the time. Back when I wasn't a Hurricanes fan.
Yeah, quote unquote a Hurricanes fan, which got you a lot of ire, by the way.
Yeah, I'm just a bandwagon for the Hurricanes, to be honest. It's just like it's one of those where sometimes if your original team just pisses you off, find another one where you can watch, but there's, like, no implication. It doesn't affect your mental state at all. You're just watching to watch a game, and it's because they're fun to watch. That's what the Carolina Hurricanes are for me. It's like my cleanser for, like, all the anger that this other franchise, puts me through.
Yeah, the other one we're talking about, and I think this is a perfect way to talk about William Nylander. Still has not been extended. Has said he wants to be extended and wants to be a Toronto Maple Leaf, and I believe him.
Really? I think he's full of shit because he would have been signed by now, and we don't have to bleep that. We can leave that one there.
Okay. Well, see, and I believe him because I think William Nylander does want to be a Leaf.
But
I think he knows that I'm not taking a pay cut if Matthews is getting 13 and basically $500,000, 13 and a quarter.
Oh my! This is what frustrates me.
I'm not taking a pay cut if Mitch Marner's making 11.5, 11.6 technically.
Okay, but I think Matthews and Marner are the guys. You know what I mean? If they don't, like, let's say it all goes to shit again this season, okay, and then Tree Living decides, okay, I got to do, like, we're moving guys. And they're going, these are our key pieces. I think Matthews and Marner are the ones that stay. I don't think William Nylander needs to get his head out of the gutter. He is not a franchise player. He just isn't. And some people might hate that take and some people might disagree, but, like, I don't think he is. And I've also been saying this for a while now. You can put the blame on Kyle Dubas for the William Nylander holdout back in 2018. You can put blame there a bit because we didn't know the player. The player was just like, no, I want to play. It's just I gave him a number. And then it turns out it was literally like what, $1,000 away from the actual number they wanted. Like he wanted 7, they gave him 6.9 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was the joke there, right? But like for me, I was also like, I think it's the player, because again, if you don't know this by now, I think Nylander is a pretty face in a pretty place. That's all it is. I've been saying that since that freaking contract holdout, and even before then, because before the contract holdout, William Nylander looked like he could be a franchise player, looked like he could be this like a guy. But then after the contract holdout, okay, slow start, I get it. You didn't play like a first full half of the season, takes a while to get in, fine. But then you come back the next year after that, you're still kind of shit. So, and then your next best season, like your best season to my recollection was probably the last season that just passed. And I don't care about the playoffs. You didn't win anything. So he's not that good. He didn't do anything. Draisaitl's a guy that could put the team on his shoulder if McDavid were to go down. McDavid would be able to put the team on his shoulder if Draisaitl were to go. I mean, to a certain extent, because let's be real, we've seen that the Oilers can't play without both of them sometimes. So it's hard to say that way. But I think he is, yes. Do I think he wants to play here? Yes, 100%. But the problem is he thinks he's good, but he's not as good as he thinks he is.
Well, isn't that always the goal, Al?
You're not going to get 11 million. I'm sorry. Not with this franchise. Sorry, buddy. The best you're going to get is 8, maybe 8.5. You're not getting 9. Take a walk. And at this point, this is why I like the Keefe signing. This is why I like the Matthews signing and all the other signings that are happening, because it just goes to show Tree Living's like, fine, we gave you a freaking number. You want to sit in your corner and pout with your agent? Fine. I'm going to sign the rest of the team. You got up till the trade deadline to sign with us. You don't sign, we're moving you for pieces, and we're going to find a way to build this team anyways to stay a playoff contender even though you're gone. And this might be a bad take. You listen, it's a take for a reason. Some are good, some are bad. You might agree with it, you might disagree with it. I know for a fact that there are people out there that'll hear this and go, you know what, that's a pretty good point. And then there are other people that'll, you got the stats gurus who'll be like, oh, he does this, he does that. Like I got a buddy who's like a diehard Nylander guy. And it's like, dude, take off your blinders for a second. Because like, let's be real. What has he done to show his worth other than have by far the best season of his career as a Maple Leafs last season? That's it. Yes, great playoff performer. Fine. But inconsistent as hell. It comes in spurts with him, and it frustrates me. And you could say, oh, but Matthews goes quiet. Okay, how many Rockets does Matthews have already? How many All-Star appearances does Matthews have already? Oh, didn't he score 60-plus goals? I'm pretty sure Matthews has had a 40-goal season in every year he's been in the league, except for his rookie year. So, Willie, have you done any of those things, pal? I think he might have hit 40 this year, actually. But I have Jason Robertson ranked higher on my hockey players.
Okay.
I do.
Wait. My brain for a second thought you meant the one who pushed the Leafs, not the one who pushed
no,
the Dallas. Never mind. I will retract my whoa. For a second, I was like, I literally was gonna lose my mind at you. I was like, there's no way you're it's Nick Robertson, right?
Nick Robertson's the Leaf. Yes.
Yeah, that's where my brain went, not thinking you meant the guy, the brother who plays for Dallas.
No. Nick Robertson, I've been trying to get him traded for years now. Because I think he panics still with the puck, and I don't think he's ever going to be an NHL player, considering the amount of injuries that have built up in the last few years as well. So that's where I stand with that. But I have Jason Robertson from the Dallas Stars ranked higher on my player poll, I guess you could say, over William Nylander. I have Jack Hughes ranked higher. I have Trevor Zegras ranked higher. I have like the list goes on. There are so many good players in the league that I have ranked higher than William Nylander. And they're like, those were just to name a few that come to mind. So I'm not a William Nylander fan. I mean, don't get me wrong, glad he's a Leaf for now. But I'm tired of these games and all that. And I think Tree Living is also, putting pressure on the Nylander camp going, listen, you can keep talking to the media and telling them how much you want to sign here, but at the end of the day, buddy, you still haven't put the damn pen to paper. You're like, I don't know, but if I would, it's hard to say because I've never played in the NHL, but I'm sorry, if I want to be with a team and I want to win a cup with that team, I am going to take a pay cut. I would rather have 4 Stanley Cup rings on my hand and not so much money in the bank, than, I would rather have cup rings over cash. I wouldn't do it for free, obviously, but like, I don't know. Let's say my career earnings were $50 million. Okay, but I won 4 Stanley Cups. I'm pretty sure I can get sponsorships at some point. You make up your money there or whatever. So that's the thing with Nylander. That's the only thing that bugs me with him is, you say so much you want to play here. Okay, cool, take a pay cut. Nathan McKinnon did it for how long? Until he won a cup, and then he's like, okay, now I want my money, which I'm fine with. You won the damn thing. You've accomplished everything you want. Now, why not ask for your money? Why would it matter if, staying there? Yes, of course you'd like to stay in Colorado, but like, what if they can't afford you and then you go somewhere? I don't think he'd mind. He's already won a cup. Who gives a shit? So that's my thing with William Nylander. Oh, yeah, I want to play here. Okay, buddy. Sure. Yeah. I bet you Nylander will not sign. We're going to do this in December, and Nylander still won't have signed an extension.
You know what this sounds like to me, Al?
Book it.
Sounds like you're drinking a lot of haterade over there down in Markham.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
You're drinking a lot of haterade down there in Markham, and I'm just trying to figure out where you're getting all this haterade from.
I'm just tired of all the bullshit. Like, honestly, like, I wasn't like, I'm not a Nylander hater. But
you definitely are a Nylander hater.
Yeah, okay. Now, I guess I can't say it. Now, yeah. Sorry, I wasn't a Nylander hater before the holdout. It was after the holdout where I was like, okay, this dude is just the typical, I'm a pretty boy, I can play hockey, I'm good at it, and I'm going to get paid for it. But this is life hitting him in the face. That's the thing. I don't think he understands. Dude, you're not going to get everything you want in life just by pouting in a corner. Put in the damn work. Yes, he's in shape. Yes, he's ready to go. Yes, he stays healthy. Yes, he had an 80-point season this year. But it was just one. Auston Matthews is a god compared to Nylander. And that might be a little bit of a heavy praise because let's be real, there's only one McJesus in the league and his name is Connor McDavid. But I just don't think – I think he's worth more than he actually is, and that's going to hurt him. And that's what I think is ultimately going to send him out of Toronto. I don't care how the media spins it. I don't care if they go, oh, they were too stubborn to give him the money, blah, blah, blah. Go ahead. Put that spin all you want. I think the number that he's being offered right now, which I don't know what it is reasonable. And I think I just don't think he's, he wants to take it because he wants more. And I don't think he's done enough to be in a position to go, no, I want this. And, I will be able to hold out because I can go get, that money. But in my head, I'm going, fine. You want that money? We'll gladly trade you for assets. Hey, we need a couple first-round picks for the next couple of drafts because we've gotten rid of all of them. And at the same time, who knows? Maybe you get like it could be a Pierre-Luc Dubois scenario. You get 3 players for the price of 1, and all, the 3 guys you get are worth a combined number of what he was worth alone. Which is ideally what I'd like to happen if he were to get moved. But yeah, it's he frustrates me because when I read that quote the other day, I want to be here. The first thing I thought of was bullshit. I've heard and I've seen this movie before. So I just hope that the Nylander conversations don't overshadow what the Leafs will do this season, whether it'll be really good or really bad. So, yeah.
Well, Al, I got to make sure I say again, drinking all that haterade down there in Marquette for William Nylander, who's just trying to make his money. Just trying to make his money over here, okay? You let Auston Matthews make his money. Why can't you let William Nylander?
Because Auston Matthews is your franchise. He is the one that will take you to the promised land.
Hasn't yet?
I mean, he hasn't, but then again, you look at other guys in the NHL. Has McDavid done that yet? Because he's the face.
Conference final.
Okay. Didn't win it. I'm just saying there are other big names in the league who have yet to do anything for their franchise. David Pastrnak.
Okay. Now I don't even want to hear that out of you. I don't even want to go down that line of logic with you. Okay. That's a cup final.
Nick Suzuki.
That's it. It's a broken cake. The Habs suck. You cannot place that on the shoulders.
I know.
Of
I'm just naming
Owen
guys.
Sound attack boy. Nick
I'm just
Suzuki.
naming
You're not putting
guys.
that on his shoulders, Al. Okay,
Okay,
I'll
fine.
drive Markham over that one. Okay, Pasternak, you're just gonna upset me. Nick Suzuki now? Oh, come on now. I'll make the drive. Okay.
Fair enough. I mean, okay, and you're right. Pasta has done a cup final, but yeah, okay, never mind. Yeah, that was a bad example. Now that I think about
you picked like the worst one out.
That was like
I'm a
the
Bruins
yeah.
fan. Like I'm gonna know
that was the worst one. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That was.
I'd rather you say Jason Robertson. Like what is he?
Yeah, but he hasn't been in the league long enough. I don't think. Like he's only been established for the last. Same thing with Jake Ottinger. Like this is what his third NHL season
he's
now.
A goalie. Goalies don't count.
What do you mean? Goalies are like the most crucial part.
Goalies go hot and goalies go cold.
Like, I mean, so does William Nylander.
Yeah, but no, Al, come on now. William Nylander's not gonna become a bum and get thrown out of the AHL in 2 years. Jesus. Like Mackenzie Blackwood was the only reason why the New Jersey Devils were watchable, and now he's a bum and getting traded for nothing. Cal Peterson's an albatross of a contract. He got signed to a 4x4 by LA.
Yeah.
Like goalies John Gibson was one of the hottest goalies in hockey 3 years ago. He's all of a sudden a bum playing for an awful organization.
Yeah. But anyways, so like I just back to the point because I don't want to get too carried away. Is that Matthews is the face of the franchise, and that was established the day he was drafted. Nylander was one of those, he has a chance to be a really good player, make an impact for this franchise, and then now it's like, okay, well, this is what he is. I think he's worth I don't know. I don't think he's worth 9. Not in Toronto. Sorry. Too many big names. You want to go get 9 or over 9? Go somewhere else. Because you're not getting it here. You're not getting it here. But anyways, I think that's enough Leafs, no? You have anything to add, Spence?
Yeah, I think we've had enough of you complaining over here, so I will move us on to still hockey. We're going now to junior hockey. Not your junior hockey, but WHL, CHL action. And there's been a little bit of a shake, a little bit of a stir. So when Mike Babcock got brought into Columbus, what I believe you and I talked about when Mike Babcock, I might not even just talk about the allegation of him going to Columbus. He now officially is the Columbus head coach for
2 years.
2 years? It was a 2-year contract?
Yep.
Yep. With Columbus. And that obviously drew up a stir because of his archaic style of coaching is what I'm going to
well, it's not archaic. Yeah, it's if you look at the Mike Babcock situation and the situation you're about to bring up, I think people can simmer down a little bit with the Babcock front and wait till they hear what you're about to tell us.
Well, in fairness, I think you got to look at things in a vacuum, and Babcock has definitely done some things that I hope he regrets, and if he doesn't, he should. With even Mitch Marner, but going back before with Johan Franzen, with other guys he allegedly kicked and didn't mistreated, and all the stories from other teams complaining about him, the Mike Modano not getting his 1500th game, like a lot of things that Babcock did that were kind of curmudgeon-y and unlikable. But Bill Peters, the official head coach of the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Now, if you heard Bill Peters' name and wondered, why do I think I know that name? Well, it's because you probably do. It's just you haven't heard it in 3 years, because back when he was the Calgary Flames head coach back in 2019, and that was a playoff contending Calgary Flames team before he was fired for a allegation by Akeem Alou. Akeem Alou said that he was called, or he was called, and his music was called. He's playing, I assume, rap music. It was a lot of music I listen to as well, might I add. He dropped the N-bomb or N-word, depending on what way you prefer it, several times in the dressing room to Akeem. And I have the exact quote. Do that. If you want to hear it?
I want to hear it.
Well, as a white guy, yeah, you definitely can't do that. That is definitely you can't do that. So he said, so this is Akeem speaking. He said he walked in before a morning pregame skate and said, "Hey Akeem, I'm sick of you playing that blank I'll say the word you've been using, Al. Shit."
Oh yes, I remember. You know what? Now that you
said,
the quote,
"I'm sick of hearing this N-word effing other N-word in the butt stuff."
Yeah, it's
exact
a lot of
quote.
N-words.
Yeah, that's lots. That's that got a couple too many, Al. Couple too
Yeah,
many.
I mean, one, it was too many.
He then walked out like nothing ever happened. You could hear a pin drop in the room. Everything went dead silent. I just sat in my stall, didn't say a word. And two players have corroborated that story. So it's not like he said this and everyone's like, "Oh, that didn't happen." There are two
Yeah.
players, Simo Pepin and Peter MacArthur on that team have said that happened. Like that, we were there. That happened.
Yep. No, it's yeah, now he's coaching in Lethbridge.
Now he's coaching with Lethbridge Hurricanes in the
Yeah.
WHL.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a thought other than like that's pretty messed up. You know, you got a guy like that who was coaching a group of men who is now going to coach a group of young men. You know, that you have to show them the right ways of how to be a good hockey player and a good pro on and off the ice. Yeah, it doesn't. I'll say this. I don't have much of a comment on it other than it definitely doesn't sit right with me one bit. I have a lot more cons than pros in this situation.
And I will also mention here, as we continue out, that he was the head coach of the Hurricanes before Rod Brind'Amour came in, and Rod Brind'Amour was an assistant with him, with the Hurricanes at that point. And he apparently kicked Michel Jordan. I assume it's Michel, but Michael Jordan, depending on how you pronounce this. It's also not spelled like Michael, so I assume it's Michel Jordan. But anyway, he was a former Hurricanes defenseman, said he got kicked pretty hard in the back during a game and punched players on the bench. And Rod Brind'Amour backed up that account of Jordan's story. So
yeah,
Bill
like
Peters
I said,
is kind of a serial offender. And I know you don't want to touch on it too bad because we are not people of color. We do not really get a chance to dig into these.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like, what else is there to say? Like, do I think he deserves to have another coaching job and like, you know, be working with young men to bring them to the next level and show them the ropes on how to be a good pro and, you know, a good hockey player again on and off the ice? Because as much as the on ice matters, so does the off ice. And you know,
level, you almost think the off the ice is more important.
100%, because you know, like at the end of the day, like hockey is a community, right? It's hockey's a big community, and like the hockey community does a lot for the community that is outside of the, you know, hockey. And yeah, so my only thought really is just I don't think this guy should be behind a bench, at least definitely not as a head coach. And I mean, hey, at least it's junior, not the NHL. If it was the NHL, I'd be like, you're nuts. Like this is Gary Bettman dropping the ball again. Like this would be Gary Bettman pulling a Roger Goodell, or actually no, Goodell's been good lately. This would be like Gary Bettman pulling a Rob Manfred.
Oh God, not Robbie Manfred now.
Yeah, but that's pretty much all I have to say. I don't think he should be behind a bench. I don't, at least not as a head coach. And I definitely don't want to see his ass back in pro hockey again.
Well, that's where this is leading to, which is why I'm worried. Because it's always where it starts. It's, oh, I'm only coaching like Babcock. Oh, I'm coaching with the University of Saskatchewan. Oh, okay, Babs. Oh, okay.
Okay, but like the thing is, as much as Babcock had some bad decisions, I still think Babcock has a moral compass in terms of like, yes, like did he cross the line with the Mitch Marner thing? Yeah, like 100%. Like, is there other things like, you know, Jason Spezza healthy scratch after coming, like that kind of thing? Like, is that bad? Yes, of course, but it's not nearly close to what Peters has done. I think Babcock going back to Saskatchewan was kind of a reset. You know, why am I a coach in the first place? Why, like, kind of make him love the game again and appreciate the small things that he might have lost touch of after winning a few cups. You know, that kind of thing. I don't think listen, the only place I could see someone hiring Bill Peters, you know, outside of junior hockey would be the Chicago Blackhawks. Like, let's be real. Like, that is the only maybe Arizona, if, you know, it doesn't pan out with Andre Tourigny. But like, I think you're wrong there. I don't think this guy's coming to come back to the show. No way.
I think there's a chance because there's no way you go to junior hockey and just think you're gonna be a junior hockey coach for the rest of your career.
Why
Like
not?
I just don't believe that because I don't believe it's worth the money if you don't think you're making it above that. As a guy who's already been to the show, been there, done that type of thing. I don't think he does it unless he
Yeah,
thinks
but
that. And
you've been there, done that, and you've screwed up.
obviously, and I do believe in second chances. I do. I am a true believer in rehabilitation. I'm just worried with the topic we're talking about because, and I will say this because I think it does mean to be said even if I don't believe it. The
Yeah.
Lethbridge Hurricanes press release stated that Peters completed an anti-racism training and coaching certification
God.
program over the
Oh my
past
God.
year, and the WHL is satisfied he is ready to return to coaching.
Whatever.
Per the team,
Whatever.
Peters will continue to undergo equality training and anti-racism coaching.
Whatever.
Now Al, I have to be honest with you here. I want to believe there was no hate when he said those words. I want to believe that there was no intent
No, it's
when
not
he
even
used those
that.
words. But at the end of the day, what in the world, before I cuss, what in the world is anti-racism coaching? And
Well,
how would I
no.
complete such a thing?
The reason why I'm saying whatever is not like, okay, like, I mean, if there are courses like that out there, great. Like, I mean, I'm sure they'll show up. I'm sure they'll show up at one point on, like I'm an official with Hockey Canada, and we have courses every year, right, for respecting sport. Rowan's Law, like there's a bunch of other courses on the side other than our basic module exam that we have to do in order to recertify. And this is why I'm saying whatever, and I hate the fact that you listed all of those courses. I could give less of a rat's ass about all the courses he took because the reason behind this is not because like I don't think he needs to be educated and needs to know like, hey, you got to like, you know, no matter the color of your skin, people matter. It's still a person. At the end of the day, if they were to get a cut, they would still bleed red. I am a strong believer in that, without a doubt. The reason why I'm saying those courses are full of malarkey is because there are courses that have been installed for parents in minor hockey that is a requirement that one parent take a course on how to properly behave inside a freaking hockey rink.
Oh, God.
Or else their kid can't play. You know what the funny thing is, Spencer?
What's the funny thing?
I still throw parents out of this crowd every single year. There is still always, well, I say one, but there have been, I think last year I was 4, which was a down of 2 compared to the year before that when I was here, which was 6. But this is why I don't give a shit about those courses, is because they do nothing. They might seem like they do nothing, but at the end of the day, he's just taking those courses to be behind the bench again.
Exactly.
He doesn't, like, I'm not buying it. If you're buying it, you're a better person than I am, Spencer. But you know what? You showed your cards then. A person doesn't change just like that in the span of, I don't know, how long has it been since that Akeem
2019. 2019
oh
when
my
it came out.
God.
That's when it came out. That's when Akeem came out with it. That was 2019.
Yeah, okay. So you don't
It happened all the way back in 2009. He was it was with the Chicago Blackhawks, by the way, their AHL affiliate. And it was 2008, 2009, and 2009.
Oh, the Chicago Blackhawks. Look at that.
Yeah, it was with the Chicago Blackhawks
Look at that.
AHL organization.
Of course it was with the Chicago Blackhawks.
It was with the Rockford IceHogs.
Ah! Oh man, that's awesome. I mean, it's not, you know what I mean by it's awesome in terms of
it's
like,
ironic.
Yeah, it's ironic, but it's not awesome that it happened. But like, wow, that is freaking hilarious. Screw him.
And here you go, Al. In my opinion, I forgot to add this in, but I want to hear your opinion on this comment because this quote here from the Score article is rather damning. Prior to Lethbridge hiring announcement Wednesday, Alain said a current NHL head coach reached out to him last week to try and broker an apology on Peters' behalf. Alain tweeted an apology Alain tweeted his response to the unknown third party, adding he was curious about the timing of the attempt.
Yeah, I think I saw Akeem's tweet. I didn't read it, but I remember scrolling it. It popped up on my timeline. I was looking for another post at the time, so I was like, sorry, Akeem, like I gotta keep scrolling here, bud. But like, no, now that you mentioned, I do remember now that you're like building that timeline, yeah, I do remember seeing him pop up. But yeah, no, honestly, like the more we've been talking about this, the more I'm like, yeah, I stand by what I've said in terms of I don't think he should be coaching. I don't care. And you know what? I don't know if this is a path back to the National Hockey League. I do think that I think the Hockey Diversity Alliance would stop that.
I hope so.
I think they would because, like, don't get me wrong, Akeem Alou is a former NHLer, but look at other guys that are in that alliance. A lot of them are current NHL players: Vander Kane, Matt Dumba, Nazem Kadri, right? So, just to name a few. So I think those players would. They wouldn't allow it. It wouldn't allow it. I don't think. Well, yeah, I don't know. The NHL has done some funky things sometimes, but I just don't see it happening. But I could see how it is a fear of yours, but I don't see it happening.
But I did think we had to mention it just because, and I haven't given my opinion on it. I believe in second chances. I truly do. But I think there are some things you can't come back from. There are some things that
and that's one of them.
Once you do them, that you kind of lose that ability to be like, hey, I can still do that thing. Like at the end of the day. And I think Bill Peters hit one of them.
Yeah,
and I don't think any anti-racism training is going to change that. You either feel away or you don't.
Where's Joel Quenneville?
Right now I think he's still unemployed.
There you go. I was just gonna say that's another one of those where you can't come back because, well, that's a whole different ball game. But
and that whole Chicago situation we won't bring back up, even though that ironically is around when Bill Peters was the affiliate head or was the head coach of the AHL team with the Rockford IceHogs. But anyway, like as much as I think definitely no Quenneville's responsible and definitely he should have done more. It's also, man, like the whole organization messed up that beach situation. Like they let him down badly, horribly.
I mean, yeah,
but like it is, you got to wonder how much actual involvement Quenneville had. That's where for me I have a little empathy for him because I don't know how much actual how much fault of his it was, but I still get the point of it was in your locker room, it was in your house.
You can't tell me you can't tell me you don't know what's going on.
Like AJ Hinch with the cheating situation, you have to know. It's in your house. You have to know.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm sure
you have to know.
Yeah, like it was run by him at one point. Hey, like AJ, like what do you think if we run this? But anyway,
even if he said no, he had to have known they were still doing it. But anyway, I thought we had to mention that Bill Peters is now back in coaching, back at the WHL level with Lethbridge, the Hurricanes. We'll see how his tenure with them go because that will put them under the microscope. If they start out bad, who knows what that could lead to? If that means immediate firing or whatever. Or
I mean, you give them a couple games.
Maybe they think better of it and fire him before the season even starts. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I don't think they will.
Oh, I know they won't, but I can always hope, Al. I can always hope.
True.
I can always dream. But now, I think we're gonna end off with the baseball.
Baseball.
The LA Angels, the Los Angeles Angels. What a tumultuous month they've had. You and I have been away from the podcasting for a month. Talk about a team that has been basically all over the place. So everyone's thinking they're going to trade Ohtani. I think we even talked about them maybe trading Ohtani and where he could go. They then say, no, Trout's coming back. Ohtani's playing great. We're going to buy. They buy Lucas Giolito. They buy some other pieces. They then suck. Ohtani tears his UCL. Trout goes back to the IR. And now all of a sudden they waive like 5 or 6 guys, including Lucas Giolito and the guys they bought at the deadline.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like, they sent them down. I mean like they waived them. It means you can claim them on waivers. And I guarantee you Giolito should be claimed on waivers. So
yeah,
we're going to see how that all shakes out for the LA Angels. But I've never seen a buy at a deadline go so wrong so fast.
It's just funny because, like, 1 second you're like, I'm in, and the next you're like, yeah, bye, guys.
Well, yeah. No, literally, Al, the LA Angels traded away their 2nd, 3rd, and 8th ranked prospects to attain their trade deadline acquisitions. Their 2nd, 3rd, and 8th best prospects in their organization. They'd have gotten them for nothing. They traded away 3 of their better prospects for nothing because you waived them. So you don't want them. You obviously, if saying you don't want them, you waived them. You send them down.
Yeah.
You're DFAing them to try to get them down to AAA. That's what you're doing. You're trying to free out the roster spot.
Yep.
So, like, what are we doing? Like, how does? And again, as you mentioned, it's kind of funny. How do you get that to that? How do you go from
I don't know.
we're a
Like,
competing baseball team to we suck. We're gonna waive everybody.
we lost half of our unicorn. So now we're gonna, just forget the playoffs. It's like, man, he could still hit. I just don't understand. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen something like this before. Maybe it's happened but I'm just not old enough to remember it. But like, this is. I saw that and I was like, what are they doing? I literally tweeted it out. I was like, what are they doing? I just don't.
Well, here you go, Al. I have the exact names down. I pulled them up. So they placed right-hander Lucas Giolito, relievers Matt Moore, Ronaldo Lopez, it'd be Ronaldo Lopez, Dominic Leone, and then they also got rid of both two outfielders, and Hunter Renfroe and Randall Grichuk, former Blue Jay Grichuk.
Yep, good old Randall.
Good old goal, Randy. But yeah, that's 6 guys from your MLB roster that just got waived to get claimed, and the claiming happens today. All 6 guys are going to be free agents coming into this summer, or this winter, I guess, for them.
Yeah, and so there's been talk about too, like how the Jays should pursue Randall Grichuk, how it wouldn't be that bad, and I was just like, no.
I go for Renfroe. Renfroe's got way more power. Yeah, he strikes out a lot, but like he's a more power bat.
I was thinking that, but I'm also going Lucas Giolito.
The guy you wanted them to trade for. You know how sad that is, Al?
Yeah.
You wanted them to buy Lucas Giolito at the deadline.
Now you can get him for free.
Waived a month later.
Yeah.
But I mean, claim today.
Yeah.
Like today, as we're talking about this, on Thursday is the day to claim these guys. So we could see them start flying off the board.
I will be really disappointed if the Jays land Randall Grichuk. I don't think he's it. I don't think he was even it when he was here the first time. So, I don't know. For me, I'm curious to see if the Jays might be planning a reunion with Josh Donaldson, who was released from the New York Yankees the other day.
Who has been playing like absolute hogwash and got cut by the New York Yankees. Yep.
I know, but I mean, let's look at the Yankees though in general. They've been hogwash.
I don't want to talk
general.
About it.
I know you. I know you don't. I don't blame you either, because I wouldn't want to talk about a team that's over like 12 games back of a freaking playoff spot.
The Yankees have been garbage. They've been continuing to suck. They had Judge out for a month and a half, just about like 49 games. And those 49 games, I guarantee you, they won like maybe 20 of them. They were so bad, and they've just continued with Judge. And it's so sad that every time I look at a Yankees game now, Al, I actually get like a sense of joy they actually won. Because I've been watching so many games on score where it's like, oh, loss. I haven't, like, when I see them win now, I'm like, oh my God, they actually won? Like, even if it's bad, oh my God, they actually won? Like, they beat the Tigers last 2 days. I'm like, they beat the Tigers? Yay, they beat the Tigers.
It's like, hey, guys, we beat one of the shittier teams in the league.
They
yeah.
beat the Tigers.
Hey, I mean, if it makes you feeling better, the Jays lost to the Tigers this year, too.
That's because the Jays suck. Okay, so talking about the Yankees being absolute hogwash, being 18 games back in the AL East, does not mean that the Jays get a free pass here. Okay, the Jays suck.
No, I know, and I know this was probably like I said I wanted to stay away from the Jays, but like the Angels conversation went by a lot quicker than I thought it would. But I mean, there's only so much you could say about the Angels other than like what the hell.
You can only look at them and laugh. You can only look and point and laugh, Al.
Like they're just
lose Ohtani.
Them and the Mets are just a laughing stock right now.
Yeah.
But no, the Jays, I mean, again, they are what they are. They're going to be an inconsistent baseball team. If they make it into the wild card, great. They might have a chance if they land a Central team. Even then, I wouldn't hold your breath there, because if it is the Twins, the Twins have beaten the Jays this year. Pretty sure they swept them. If not, they took at least 2 of 3 of a whatever set.
But they also are like barely over 500 winning their
division. Sure. But I mean, so there's that. But the thing for me is, I don't know. I saw this the other day too. It's like, when you're at the ballpark, you get the vibe, like the crowds that are there give you 2015, 2016 vibes. The problem is they're not piling up the wins that you were getting in 15 and 16. They're just, yes, there's big crowds, but it's complete, utter disappointment almost game after game after game, which, again, sometimes there are games where the Jays, you're like, man, I can't believe this team is above 500. Because they've had some bad ones, Spencer. They've had some bad. Davis Snyder is the best player on the Jays roster right now, which is fine because at least it's not Brandon Belt anymore. You know what I mean? At least
your team MVP is Brandon Belt. You're still mad about that?
No, at least we could take him out of the conversation now and, look at Babe Schneider over here. That's his nickname. Just saying.
Of course it is.
Like this guy's been red hot. And like you look again the other night when they lost to the Nationals, Alejandro Kirk at third. Why don't you bring in a pinch runner? Oh, well, it's a 2-run lead. If it was for the tie, we would have done it. But no, you should do it anyways. Like, come on. There's so many fundamental mistakes this team is making from the manager up to the players, like to the last player in the field. And this is going to be a disappointing year, man. The writing's on the wall. Unless this is one of those messed up seasons where you have your team on the your fan base on the edge of their seats for the entire freaking year, but then you go to the playoffs and then you decide to turn it on and you become unstoppable. Let's be real. I don't think that's happening. But the Jays are what they are. 3.5 back right now. They got a series win over the Nationals. Great. I don't think they should have even lost a game of that series. The fact that they did lose one was, again, a concern, but now they're off on the road, and I mean, every game matters now. Like, this is August baseball. You had the chance to, with this roster to do damage early. You didn't. This is what you signed up for again. And can we talk about the Seattle Mariners real quick?
Oh God, can I talk about Seattle Mariners? Do you want to talk about the Seattle Mariners?
Not real quick. Everyone's like, oh my goodness, the Seattle Mariners are so hot right now. It's like, I don't know if you know this, but like if you look at the last 3, maybe even 4 years, you can almost go back 5 years of the Seattle Mariners seasons. When do they ever have a bad month of August? I cannot remember the last time the Mariners did not get hot at the beginning of August or end of July and then just cruise and either get to the playoffs. Actually, no, never mind. They never made it. They only made it for the first time last year, I believe, or the year before.
Yeah, first time in a while. Like they've been a historically bad team.
But my point is, how many times have they like cruised the entire last part of like literally the last stretch of the season and then, came so close to making it, whereas last year they did make it in. Or the year before. Again, I'm not sure. Every calendar year is all blurred into one big beating. But my point is the Mariners are hot right now, and that's the team. Like, you want to talk about Baltimore and like Boston and those guys. Like, yeah, they're there. They're in your division. But really, at the end of the day, the team that scares me the most has always been the Seattle Mariners, even before the wild card series last year. Because they are an August and September baseball club. Like, they'll do enough to hang around, but like when it comes to like Julio Rodriguez right now, you're not stopping him.
No, probably not.
And like, that's the thing. And I read, this was a clip from JD Bunkus on Sportsnet. I was on TikTok yesterday. This is why my train of thought's going there. But like, the Jays are probably one of the worst teams in baseball when it comes to clutch baseball. They do not know what clutch is. And we've talked about this before.
There's no clutch gene.
No, we've talked about this before. There's a lot of pressure and like blah blah blah, whatever. Everyone's trying to be a hero. We already know. I already established what I think the mentality of the Jays are when they go up to the plate. I get it, but like I said, it's just to the point where this is what they are. And for fans that still think they have a chance, kudos to you. You're better than me, I guess, in terms of positivity. Because if you're what I'm watching right now, this team is gonna be either a team that makes it into the wild card and gonna get their asses handed to. Or this is going to be a team that falls short on the last final game that matters the most. And then people will look back and go, oh, well, what went wrong? When went this? I've been saying since Atkins and Shapiro have been brought in, they've already overstayed their time. Is that the saying? Is that how the saying goes?
Overstayed your welcome.
There you go. They've overstayed their welcome. Same thing with Brendan Shanahan and the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think it's time for new perspectives. And I'm not saying it's because he's a bad person or he's bad at his job. I'm sure if they go somewhere else, they could do good. But I think that in terms of the process, certain organizations like the Jays and the Leafs are past due. Like in terms of like, make a change. Okay, cool. You got a new GM. Great. I don't think your coach is a problem. Keep him for now. Whereas John Schneider, yeah, that's the sound. That's all I got to say to that. But
Schneider now on the block for UL?
He's not on the block.
Right,
he's not on the block. Like I think he's good. I just don't think he's a good manager.
Okay, well wait.
Like
that begs the question. Then, do you think they should?
Don Mattingly, absolutely should have been done a while ago.
Do you think Don Mattingly should be the manager of the?
Hell, I take John Gibbons at this point again, man.
Whoa. Okay, now come on.
I'm only saying I'm only saying that to give my Twitter feed a plug. John Gibbons followed me on Twitter the other day.
Yeah, I was literally gonna say, like, you're only saying that because you like interviewed John Gibbons or whatever. Okay, I know you're only doing that for that reason. Okay, other than that, I know you're full of garbage. You're full of it. Al.
Yeah, no. If we want to talk about overstaying the welcome, John Gibbons' time in Toronto is done as well.
Yeah. It gets added to that list, doesn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I think Schneider could stay. But I don't think he's. The whole management in general, though, and I said this in previous episodes, I think too. Like I'm not satisfied. There is clearly something wrong with this ball club from the get-go. Something at the plate wasn't jiving, and yet you kept things just the way it is. So, yeah, this is why why do I love sports?
I think you love. Well, I don't know why you love sports, Al, but I love sports because I think it's fun.
Yeah,
that's why
it is fun. Yeah,
but,
I mean,
you're having some problems there with your Jays, eh?
It's not even
with the Jays,
It's not even problems. Like, again, like this has been. There's nothing surprising. Like the only thing right now that sucks for the Jays is like. Bo Bichette is once again on the IL, who's been arguably one of the better players this season. And now Davis Schneider is, the guy that teams rely on to get home. They can't bring in guys. They can't score runs. And I will say this. I've been to a few Jays games recently as well. And like Canada Day weekend. And I just went last weekend. And, I talk to almost everybody that's there, like any fans that are around me. We'll talk baseball a bit, talk shop, a little bit. And every time I bring up Lourdes Gurriel Jr., everyone says, yep, that's one guy I wish they would have kept. They miss him, man. They miss that ping of power. And I mean, why shouldn't they? I use this argument all the time. This guy was literally the dude to hit when there was runners in scoring positions. He was the guy. But
who was the guy?
Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Your guy.
Yeah, my guy. I have his jersey and everything. That's the one dude that I say this every episode too. I will die on this hill. He should not have been traded. And I think that's one of the Jays' biggest hiccups, if you will.
One of the biggest snafus?
Snafus, yes. But, what can you do now? It's done now. They made their bed. They got to lay in it. At this point, I don't think it's going to be good. Like, I don't think fans will like the end result.
No, probably not.
And then some of those fans, though, will be some that'll go back on and be like, well, what the heck? Why didn't they do more? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, hey, you're the one that was satisfied with the roster they were fielding the entire freaking season. Like, now all of a sudden you're like, oh, like, well, yeah, sorry, take your blinders off. Like, they're not, I can't even compare them to the Leafs, because, like, the Leafs are the teams that, like, is the kind of team that they'll beat a team they shouldn't beat, but lose to teams they should. Whereas the Jays, it's just everywhere. It's like they'll beat teams that they, they should beat, then they'll lose to teams that they should beat. There's no winning with them. It's just inconsistent.
Very inconsistent.
So yeah, and now for me, I honestly hope that I said this again too. I hope they don't make it. I really don't. I really hope they don't.
Well, right now they're 2.5 games out of the playoffs behind the Texas Rangers. Do you think they make it? They kind of end her off. Do you think they make the playoffs here as the season gets tighter?
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes, but it won't be from their own doing. I think it'll be one of those where they lose the game they're supposed to win, but thankfully the two other teams that are ahead of them needed to lose as well, and they will, and then that's how they'll get in.
Okay, so you do, but you think they will get in?
I think they get in, yes, but I don't think they do well. I think they get absolutely manhandled.
Shell. You think they get
Yes.
shelled in the wild card game?
Depending, like it's tough because like again, if it's Minnesota, they have a chance, but like then you're gonna go play in the ALDS rather, and then you're gonna get clocked because your next opponent wouldn't it be Texas or Houston?
It'd be Houston.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah, you're gonna be Houston, all right.
Or
Yeah, okay.
it would either be Houston or if you're the first wild card team, you play against, I believe, the lowest ranked division winner, which would be Minnesota. If you make it up to first or second, you play against the top two wild card teams, which are Tampa Bay and Houston.
Either way, it's not a good
So really,
scenario.
no
It's
matter
not
what way
like
you shake it out, you sound rather pessimistic about the Jays' opportunities. And I want to
it's not.
mention quickly,
Yeah.
breaking news: Lucas Giolito and Raul Lopez both being claimed off waivers by the Cleveland Guardians.
Ew.
Which does make sense because the Jays, if you didn't know how waivers work as the team with the lowest amount of wins claims them. So because the Guardians have 64 wins, they claimed both those players. So now Lucas Giolito and Lopez are going to Cleveland. Cleveland!
That's disgusting.
Oh, you're a hater. Well, I think that takes away some of your optimism there, Alain.
Oh boy,
Almost
Cleveland's gonna.
immediately, dog.
Oh man, because Cleveland. Well, that's the series I went to see, and like Cleveland was, they weren't bad, man. Like they hung around. Um. Ugh. Well, that probably means Logan Allen's gonna go straight to the minors then, because Logan Allen got shelled when we were there. It was funny. Oh, can we? I want to talk about that real quick. I know, as I know, we're probably trying to wrap up there, but um. When I went at the game, the second game I went to, it was the Logan Allen start for Cleveland, and I was literally calling every single play that happened in the first inning. Like before it happened, I was next to a group. I was like, "What? Like, watch this." Like after Jose Ramirez hit a homer, I was like, "That's fine. Like we're like they're gonna tie it up." I was like, "Whit Merrifield's gonna hit a leadoff double, and then Bichette's gonna bring him in to score." Sure enough, first pitch, bang, double, gets on. Next, Bichette, single, long single, brings in Merrifield to score. Tie game. I went like 6 for 6 in predictions. It is just an awesome feeling. And everyone's like, oh my God, what do you know that we don't? It's like, I don't know. Honestly, I was just guessing based off of like my baseball knowledge, but like,
You should have just lied and said because I am
it's like I
the
have the script. You didn't
I
know?
no, you should say I have ESP, dog. I am a psychic. I can see into the future.
Yeah, there was that like the That's So Raven comparison made at one point. I don't know if
That
you
is
know.
hilarious. That's the
Yeah,
only reference that makes sense to you're in my group of it, like group of
yeah,
kids.
yeah.
That
So like
only makes
that
sense.
that reference was made too. So it just goes to show what age group I was talking to. But yeah, it was hilarious. I was just saying like things, and even people in the lower decks like were looking up after I said it to me, and were like, what is this guy on? It was a good feeling.
Not sure we want to know that, Al. I'm not sure we want to know what you're on.
I'm not on anything. I just get these things called like energy spurts. And then other than that, I was just, people were like, oh, you should buy a 50-50. I'm like, no, no, no. That's where my luck ends.
Yeah, that's where the money just gets wasted.
That is where I draw the line. The money is literally strictly for cold beverages with a smidge of,
Fun juice.
fun juice. Yes.
Yeah. Well, what makes you, ironically, what makes you get your energy spurts apparently?
No, I'm just a naturally energetic guy in the first place, but it does help. The energy spurts last longer, if you will.
I see.
Yeah, fancy. That's how science works.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as that's how science works.
I think so. I don't know. I'd have to look into it. Maybe it'll last like our buddy Bill Nye or something like that.
Yeah, your buddy Bill Nye, more like Mr. ESP.
Yeah.
But Al, do you remember how to do this show?
Do I remember how to do this show? Yes, I remember how to do this show.
Well, you're not showing it.
Is it that time?
I think it's that time. Do you think
Okay,
it's that time?
this is where we sing us. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, were you singing Kumbaya over there?
No, I was gonna say like the like Bear in the Big Blue House song. Goodbye, my dear old. You know that one or something like that.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, maybe that's before your time then. A little bit before your time. No, maybe not. You like whatever. Anyways, this is where we say goodbye, but like I have the honors of sending you off back into your day, whatever you are doing as you were listening to this. This was episode number 17 of The Outrage from myself, Alain Kevion, Big Al, whatever you want. I don't care. People call me AQ nowadays too. I heard that one. French fries, the nickname I got the other day.
That sounds hilarious.
I don't want to.
That now.
I don't. Great. Awesome. That's phenomenal. Yeah, thanks. I love that. Yeah. And from Spencer Byers, who is the one that runs this entire freaking thing.
Operation.
Yeah, no, not a corporation. We don't make money. We broke as shit there.
We are an incorporated though.
No, there you go. Yeah.
It says on the website.
There you go. So this was episode number 17 of The Outrage. Hopefully you don't have to wait a month and a half for the next episode. So long.
Me too.